You can see here a basic laydown of how we see the battle space today, with the regime forces more pressed and less free to maneuver than they were before operations commenced. We now have the capability to patrol the airspace over Libya, and we are doing just that, shifting to a more consistent and persistent air presence. As Admiral Mullen reported this morning, the no-fly zone is effectively in place. Let me conclude by repeating what I said yesterday. This is an international effort designed to enforce a UN mandate. And since I spoke to you last, the coalition has been joined by forces from Spain, Belgium, Denmark, and Qatar. The United States is militarily in the lead, but General Ham is working diligently to effect a smooth transition to a coalition command structure in the next few days. We do not know when we will be ready to do that, and we do not yet know what that structure will look like, but we're working very hard to define it. And we remain committed to creating and then sustaining the conditions under which our allies and partners can take the lead in implementing the no-fly zone. And with that, I'd be happy to take your questions.
Okay, let's see. Louis?
Yesterday you were kind of leery about, hesitant to talk about whether Colonel Gaddafi was being made a target. Is his command and control in Tripoli, or he himself now, a target?
We are focusing on the conditions that we need, on the targets that we need to enforce the no-fly zone, which is the command and control structure of that integrated air and missile defense system and the headquarters elements associated with it, and regime targets that might be moving on to the Libyan people.
So you're not going after Gaddafi?
We're not going after Gaddafi.
Courtney?
You mentioned one of the slides had specifically that there was an infantry element that was targeted, I think in the F-16, F-15 strikes. Why is that part of the mission, if the mission overall is to set the conditions in place for a no-fly zone and then to enforce that no-fly zone? Why are you going after infantry elements and troops?
Well, actually, they were mechanized positions, and they were advancing on Benghazi. And so to protect the Libyan people, we took them under attack.
So that is, Gaddafi's forces, ground forces, are a legitimate target of this coalition in this ongoing...
If they are moving, if they are moving and advancing on to the opposition forces into Libya, yes, we will take them under attack.
What's the difference between protecting the Libyan people and flying close air support for the rebel forces? It seems like that's what you're doing.
I wouldn't say close air support for the opposition forces. We knew that these advanced elements were moving into Benghazi with armored equipment in order to do that, and we took them under attack.
What do they have to do to stop the attacks?
What does
the Libyan ground forces have to do to stop the attacks?
If they no longer advanced on Benghazi, would be a good sign.